It takes two to tango, and both are responsible for the outcome. But the 26 pairs of eyes of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization have all seemed to overlook this. Speaking at an emergency meeting of the NATO foreign ministers, the alliance's Secretary General was very specific in his evaluation of the South Ossetian conflict.
Russian forces are basically occupying a large part of Georgia. Russian forces are occupying a greater part of Georgia. They are occupying a sovereign nation.
When asked about Georgia's actions, Mr. Sefer refused to comment, thus inviting an expected reaction.
We are puzzled by how NATO assesses the way the peace agreement is being implemented. They blame us soundly, as if these principles don't require that Georgian leaders immediately withdraw all their troops to their original positions.
NATO's position was made clear: support for Georgia and an unclear future for relations with Russia.
We also all agree, as you have seen in the statement, that there can be no business as usual in our relations to and with the Russian Federation.
But considering the demands made by the US before this session, like discontinuing the Russia-NATO Council and imposing sanctions on Russia, the outcome was received philosophically.
We had to break the wall so that you could receive objective information from us. And that will always happen when somebody prevents me from expressing the position of the Russian Federation.
Russia's envoy to NATO was not provided a room to hold a news conference in the organization's main building, where all the journalists are. While NATO could hinder the ambassador from coming to the media, it couldn't keep the media from coming to him.
NATO is still an organization of the past. The best phrase to describe the alliance is born in the Cold War. Unfortunately, all NATO's attempts to find its role in the new world and maintain collective security in partnership with Russia have failed.
This, according to some member states, is not the desired objective.
I do think it's a necessary instrument to keep on the dialogue. I do think in this difficult time we have to keep up the dialogue with Russia. It's the most important thing.
Drawing attention again to the alliance's difficulty in finding a unified position that suits all, and raising the question of NATO's own future.
Well, this alliance, as it's currently configured, may have to be transformed to involve countries that are more militarily committed to its mission. So it's not clear that NATO is going to survive, but there is going to be a Western alliance of some sort. And part of that is going to be determined not in Washington or Berlin, but in Moscow. It will be Moscow that determines what the shape of this alliance is.
The statements made allowed international media to run catchy headlines and use strong words. But the lack of substantive steps affecting Russia-NATO relations highlights the fact that behind the joint statements are disjointed positions.